75 protesters showed up to Nebo Middle School today. They say it's an issue over students who call themselves furries. But how much of that discontent is fueled by rumor? Our Sarah Murphy asked that question. She's here with what she found out. Sarah, what's this all about?
All right, Brian. Well, the term furry, it refers to someone interested in animals with human qualities. Now, they dress up like this as a cartoon version of an animal. Now, we've learned there have been reports at Nebo Middle School that students are getting mistreated over this topic.
There was some kids dressed up as animals, and I heard that another kid got bit by one of them.
There's a lot of speculation surrounding the protest that happened at Nebo Middle School Wednesday morning. Nearly 75 students and parents showed up facing the school, saying they're unhappy with how administration is handling reports of harassment.
Okay.
You guys cannot record me without my permission! This is video a Nebo Middle School student took last week. Parents say there's an issue between some students and others who call themselves furries, or people who enjoy dressing up as cartoonish animals.
Back when I went to school, you couldn't dress that way, you couldn't do certain things, and I think it kind of needs to go back a little bit. Like, I know kids need their own personalities, but it's ridiculous when kids are dressing like animals and licking and biting people. I just don't think that's okay.
But the Nebo School District tells us it's not that extreme. Seth Sorensen says no one was scratching or biting anyone, and that there are a lot of untrue rumors going around.
It actually is not something that's been occurring. In fact, a lot of the information that's been put out there is completely incorrect and inaccurate, and so we're still trying to get on top of that.
Thank you.
This is Strudel, a member of the furry fandom. Though they've been a furry for over a decade, they have their own opinions.
It's crazy that it's escalated to this point where these kids are being so distracting to their peers that their peers want to stage a walkout. So to have, the next generation kind of muddy our name and not represent it very well, it is kind of disappointing.
Strudel believes there should be some limits.
Continue doing the things you like, continue dressing up, continue making art, but maybe let's keep it outside of school hours.
As for the school, Sorensen says they have one main goal.
We want every student to feel safe when they come to school, and we want students to get along. In fact, we want adults to get along.
Anyone see anything wrong here? I hope the answer is yes. My name is Resistance, a Spellbreaker. Thanks for tuning in. So we can really look back at the very beginning of this when they decided they were just going to start teaching the children about sex in the schools. And people were really, really mad about this back then and even into the 60s and 70s. But what happens is people become desensitized to things, okay? Imagine going back even just to the 1990s and telling someone, yeah, one day the children are going to be wearing animal costumes and they're going to have tails and they're not clip-on tails. And they're going to go to school like that. Those people would probably think that you were crazy. I would have thought someone was crazy if they would have said something like that to me back then. But we can see where they've started. Okay, we can see the sex ed class curriculums change quite a bit. Okay, and these people are going to continually push these perverse things onto the children as much as they can, as long as you allow them and I allow them and everyone allows them to do it, because these are the public school systems and these are Satan's governments. So, we had them initially. Okay, we can see where they've came from doing it. Then we can see what happens with the bathrooms, with there being a third bathroom in the school. There should only be 2 bathrooms. And we can see the after-school Satan programs. And I have whole videos on breaking down the public school system and yada, yada, yada. But we can see where they've gone. So now what we have to do, you don't have to be, a prophet to do this. All you got to do is just say, well, how could it get worse? Because it was just a few years ago when they added the third bathroom. And now we have the children dressing up like animals. Okay? So where can they go from here? Because they've always continued to push this perverseness in the school system. So use your imagination with me here. Is it really crazy if someone says, one day the children are all going to go to school naked. Is that really that crazy? Looking back at what we've seen and where we are now, what if someone says, one day, sex ed class is just going to be them having sex? I mean, is that really such a crazy thought with what we see today? If I said maybe one day the children might bring their dog to prom, is that really that crazy? I mean, are we in 10 years, 20 years? You see what I mean? How could it be any worse? That's the question. Because however it could be worse is the direction that they're going to go.